I just gave you boys some. What happened to the lettuce I gave you? You finished it already? Hey, welcome back to Scotty's Animals. I'm here with BB, and he's gonna help me make some juice today. Hey BB, are you gonna help me make some juice? We're gonna eat what the piggies eat? You gonna help me? Let's do it. You might have had that experience that I've had where you're in the checkout line and your cart is filled with veggies and everyone says, "Oh, you eat so healthy." Well, somebody does at my house, and it's the guinea pigs. But I've learned over the years that if I eat like a guinea pig, then I'll be healthy too. So that's what this video is all about today. Eat like a guinea pig, and that's what we're gonna do. But not only that, we are going to make some healthy green juice with my new juicer. So I just want to thank Matt, because I was talking with him about various guinea pig issues, and I just casually mentioned that I was researching juicers and that I was going to buy a juicer so that I could start making healthy green juices. And what do you know, a couple days later a juicer showed up at my house. So just want to thank Matt. It was an amazing surprise, and it's really got me on my way to juicing. I've used this juicer a dozen of times, and I was sending him pictures of all the amazing concoctions, and I thought I would just share this with you guys. So let's make some juice. Look at this spread. Now I got some romaine lettuce, some celery, some carrots, and some cucumber, and that is something that piggies eat. Now you might notice these carrots look amazing. You might notice, however, that this celery looks a little beat up, and that's because it's organic. Now, sometimes the organic produce isn't as pretty or as lush as the generic produce that you might find, but what you are getting is cleaner. You know, there's not going to be these chemicals on it that you would find on your regular vegetables, as well as the way they treat the soil. From a lot of people that really love organic, they've stated it this way: the extra money that you're spending is an investment, but it's an investment in your health, it's an investment in our planet, and it's an investment in doing right, you know, the right proper practices to sustain this planet, to sustain ourselves, and it's really just the right way to go. So whenever you can afford it, whenever you find a deal on organic, or for whenever you can get organic, try to do that, because it goes a long way to supporting many of the things, many of the values that are important. And look at these carrots are amazing. Oh yeah. I will give the piggies some treats as well. But let's make some juice. So we call this a horizontal single auger style juicer. This is a pretty inexpensive juicer, and especially for the quality. I will put a link in the description to this juicer, but you could easily spend 3 times or more on a juicer, and if you treat this baby right, she will give you some really delicious juice. And I find that this is a really excellent entry-level juicer to get you thinking about juicing, to get you juicing, to get you experiencing all of the health benefits of juicing. So the first thing I need to do is prepare the veggies. This thing can be pretty forgiving. Horizontal style juicers allow you to put in a lot larger pieces, but as I was saying, if you treat it right, it will treat you right. So what I'm going to really do is show you the level that you want to chop these veggies. It makes it a lot easier if you're chopping these veggies into littler pieces, then you are able to maximize the amount of juice you get. With the cucumbers and the carrots, you can cut them up into smaller strips, but with the celery, because of these, because of the strings, you're going to want to cut them up into small pieces. Now, a lot of people think that that's what they have to do for their guinea pigs. That's not actually true. Guinea pigs have really strong teeth. They're great at chewing. You can give your piggies big pieces of celery and they will chew it, and they will use their teeth are like a big juicer or a big chef's knife. So don't worry about that. But for us, for our purposes, we're going to want to cut it like this. I'm sure if you check online, you'll find a number of juicing recipes, but we're going to make a nice simple green juice, and these carrots will go a long way to add an extra amount of sweetness. And you will find that a juice like this is incredibly delicious and refreshing just the way it is. You don't have to add a whole bunch of sugar or sweeteners. But even though it's not something that guinea pigs eat, maybe a lemon mixed in here will really give it a punch that makes it even more delicious. Alright, we got the lettuce chopped up. You might not need to chop it up this fine, but as I said before, the finer you chop these things, probably the more juice you're going to get. Now, if you really want to get into juicing, there is a YouTube channel that John Kohler has called Discount Juicers. He sells a whole bunch of really high-end juicers. But again, I'm going to say that this juicer is a great introductory juicer if you just want to get going and you don't want to have to think about it, and maybe you'll end up upgrading to one of his fancy juicers in the future. But for now, this juicer is amazing. So again, thank you, Matt, so much for sending me this juicer. It's been a lot of fun to learn about juicing, and as you will see, it is quite delicious, the kind of juice that it makes. This is the fun part. Now, do you remember that part at the end of Back to the Future when Doc comes back from the future and he's going through Marty's garbage, and then he's just throwing every random thing into the top of the new converted DeLorean where he can convert trash into like nuclear power or whatever it is? Anyways, that's what we're going to do. So let's turn it on. So when you turn it on, it goes in one direction. Now, if you have a clog or you just want to try to move things around, before you finish juicing, you're going to want to turn it the opposite way just to suck some of that stuff out, and then you flip it back to forward, and that will just maximize any of the pulp that you have in there. You don't want to run these things too long, so that's another reason why you want to be prepared. So we're prepared. What should we put in first? Let's put in a couple carrots first. So another tip that I've learned is you want to rotate the veggies. So you don't want to just put in all your carrots and all your leafy greens and all your celery or whatever. You want to mix it up so that the different textures can help each other process. And don't forget, you want to make sure that you're catching your pulp. And once you really get into juicing, you'll start thinking, I need a place to put this besides the garbage, like a compost pile. So here we go. Look at that. There we go. You can see there's the auger in there. Now we just keep going and you'll see, look, the magic is already happening. We got the pulp coming out there, we got the juice coming out here. This becomes addictive. So why don't I put in a cucumber next? And then I'll put in a handful of this celery. This little tray right here does help to catch everything that you might miss. Now, sometimes this thing needs a little push. That's what this pusher is for. But I do find that if you break this stuff up, you don't need to use the pusher quite as much. And you want to be careful jamming too much. Oh, why am I using a coffee pot? Two reasons. Number one, this is glass instead of the plastic cup that it comes with, but also I couldn't find that cup. So I'm using this coffee pot, but it has a really nice little spout, and this is a ton of juice, you know. So let's just keep going. Let's do a little lettuce now. So the pusher comes really in handy when you got some fluffy veggies like the lettuce. But now maybe we want to put some cucumber behind that, because we got something fluffy and leafy, and now we'll put something wet behind it. Now look at that green, beautiful, delicious juice. So I'll let you guys watch me for a little bit here, and then why don't I fast forward this whole thing, and then we can get to tasting the juice. Another thing to think about is the fact that, you know, there's going to be pulp built up in here. You're not going to get every little bit through. Some people do say, oh, aren't you removing the fiber right there? There is two kinds of fiber in vegetables. There's insoluble and soluble. So this is the insoluble fiber that you would just pass through naturally, and then the soluble fiber actually stays in the juice, as well as a little bit of the insoluble fiber in the form of pulp. So there is going to be a nice pulp, and you could always strain that through, but I think that that's really healthy. Romaine lettuce makes a delicious juice. You'd be surprised. There are a lot of vitamins in the romaine lettuce. Now don't be freaked out by that sound. That is totally normal, right? We've got these fibrous vegetables all kind of grinding around. So here we go. You want to think about an even ratio. But I really can't thank Matt enough for sending me this. This has really made a difference in the quality of life, and you know, the piggies are happy because I'm buying even more veggies, and I'm always thinking about it. So what's next? A little bit more celery. Let's get some celery to push down this lettuce here. So another thing to think about is the harder the vegetable, ironically and more counterintuitively, the more juice you'll get. You don't want to juice squishy, overripe vegetables or also squishy fruits. You don't want to do berries. Now, I'm not going to go into all the things that you can and can't juice. I'm sure there's a number of juice recipes. Check out, like I said, Discount Juicers with John Kohler. He really goes into all sorts of everything that has to do with juicing. So that's really where you're going to learn a lot about juicing recipes. And, you know, just Google green juice recipe and I'm sure you can find it. And half the fun is experimenting. And I'll tell you, aside from the time that I put some scallions in here, every juice concoction that I've made has been delicious and drinkable. So let me do a few more carrots, and then we'll do some cucumber. Look at that. Doing well. Now, I'm not really pushing down. I'm just trying to make sure that it feeds into the auger, and it should feed mostly on its own. But it just needs to grab on to those veggies. So, okay. Why don't I do a high-speed juicing for the rest of these veggies, and then we'll do a taste test.
Now, I don't think it's cheating if I put this old apple in here. This apple, it's better to have a fresh apple, but I figured, you know what? This apple is starting to just get shrivelly. You really want the freshest, hardest produce you can find for a juicing. But you know what? This apple's going to add a lot of sweetness. And that's it. Then I'll put in the last couple carrots. Look at that apple juice. These carrots pretty much go in themselves. Sometimes they need a little push. And look, we're pretty much at the top of this. And that did not take very long. And to clean this is, whoa! To clean this is really pretty easy. Got to keep an eye on your cup. We're overflowing a little bit. There we go. We're at the end. Got one little carrot stuck in there, which we will get when we clean. But so you back it up, and you go forward again. And like I said, you're not going to get all of everything through. That's okay. But look, see how we broke it up a little bit more? Now we can go through, make that last little bit of juice. Alright, we're done.
Here we are. This is the moment of truth. Got my trusty big tall glass. Look at that. Now some of you guys might say, ew, green juice. Look at that, it filled the entire thing and we still have a little bit more. Save for later. So look at that. You ready for this? With the carrots, it has just enough sweetness. You know, you put this, these veggies came out of the fridge, but you put this in the fridge for another hour or so, let it get real cold. It'll really be extremely refreshing. But at the same time, I would say drink it as soon as you create it, and you'll have the freshest juice. Look at that. Now, do yourself a favor and check out all of the benefits of juicing, of eating different types of vegetables. There's all sorts of phytonutrients and micronutrients and various chemical compounds that you just can't get anywhere else. Not to mention there are beneficial bacteria in here. There's so many things. They did a study, I'm not sure who they is, but I'm sure you could find it, that people who ate 30 or more different types of vegetables, what was it? Had like billions more bacteria in their gut. I'll try to find that study. Very fresh, very green, very refreshing. What do you think about that? Do you want some juice? What do you think, BB? What do you think? Do you want some? You want some? Want to try some? Yeah, BB, you know how to eat like a guinea pig too. What? You like it? Here, have some more. Do you like it? What do you think? What do you think? You like it? Here, have some. Have some more. What are you doing? BB, here, have some. Here, have some. You like it? You like it? You're a good assistant. There you go, Piggy Smalls. There you go, Dice. You boys want some lettuce? Here you go, Gizmo. Here you go, Ron. There you go, Popeye. There you go, Pipsqueak. Go, Gary. What about you, Nate? Come on, Nate! Come on. Come on, Nate. Come on down. Come on. Here you go, Bengal. There you go, Bengal. There you go, Shrimp. There you go, Phil. Cupcake, get some. Get some lettuce. Good boys. Don't steal his. I just gave you boys some. What happened to the lettuce I gave you? You finished it already? Okay, you can have one more piece. Here, you too. Don't tell your brother. Alright, see you next time, guys.